Canada have broke up, they're getting into their positions. Qatar, all in white. That kit looks good, doesn't it, Vicky, all in white?
It does, and it matches their fans away to the right. There's a little cluster of them, and they're all wearing traditional Qatari dress, the thobe, the long white robe. Everywhere else in the stadium, it is red. And that is what Jesse Marsch has called for at this World Cup. A red out, he says. And I'll tell you what, I would say, what do we hold? 52,500. I'd say around 50,000 of those are Canadian. Canada are playing in their changed black strip. Qatar, as Dion says, in all white. So here we go. It will be Canada to get us underway. As we say, both sides have already made history at this World Cup. They picked up their first ever World Cup point last time out. Can they find the victory? Either of these sides that would put them on the very brink, virtually assured of progression to the knockout stages of a Men's World Cup for the first time in their history. I'll take you through the full lineups in a moment, but it's Qatar in possession with Pedro Miguel down by that yellow corner flag in front of the Qatari fans. And they will pick the ball up again just outside their own penalty area and play it forward to one of their star men, Akram Afif, and he lays it off nicely. Down the left-hand side they go, ball into the area. Oh, there was a decent delivery, and Ed Nielsen Jr. was there, unmarked at the far post, miscues his shot, can't control, and the ball is behind for a Canada goal kick, which Maxime Crepeau has taken immediately. But my word, Canada switched off there.
Yeah, they did, ridiculous. I mean, it's a great ball in by Afif on the left-hand side. He's only about 5 yards outside the box. Crosses it in, and I'm thinking Ed Milson's all he's got to do is side foot it. So that is a brilliant chance so early on in the game, and they have to take their chances if they come along.
Well, he had some great opportunities against Switzerland at Nielsen Jr. It's just his 18th cap for Qatar. He's yet to score for his country. Gets in the right positions, but it's that lack of clinical finishing that can sometimes cost him. So, Canada in possession. Here is Luc de Fougerolles of Fulham. Plays it forward, and Kone now out to the right-hand side, and Buchanan whips the ball into the area, and Jonathan David, their record goal scorer, couldn't control. And it's cleared away by Qatar and helped all the way back to Maxime Crepeau, the Canada goalkeeper, by Derek Cornelius. So Crepeau in goal for Canada, the back four of Johnston of Celtic, de Fougerolles of Fulham, Cornelius of Rangers, and Larea ahead of them, Buchanan, Kone, Eustachio, and Norwich's Ahmed, with Southampton's Carl Larin, and their record goal scorer Jonathan David up front, as Canada have the throw on this near side. Here is Alistair Johnson. Johnston plays it back to de Fougerolles, and now Derek Cornelius in the centre circle. Forward now to Ismail Kone. Out to the right-hand side once again. Canada playing from left to right in the early stages here in Vancouver, as Buchanan down to the byline, whips the ball across. It's over the head of Ali Ahmed of Norwich City over on the far side, but will keep it alive. And Larea will work it to Ahmed once again. Plays the ball in. Jonathan David takes it a little wide down by the byline. Can't quite keep it in. And the performance of Jonathan David has been under huge scrutiny in the Canadian media coming into this game, as Qatar have the goal kick, early stages 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. He's their record goal scorer, 39 goals for his country. But he didn't have the best game in their opener against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Jesse Marsch in his press conference yesterday here in Vancouver had to field quite a few questions about the performance of Jonathan David. I mean, in the past he said, after Erling Haaland, who he worked with at RB Salzburg, Jesse Marsch, Jonathan David is the best forward that he's worked with in his career, but he knows that David's under a little bit of scrutiny here, I think.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe he knows how to manage him. Maybe he's an arm around kind of player rather than a shouty at player. So if you manage him right, you'll get the best out of him. I'm pretty sure that Jesse Marsch will know what to do with him.
Oh, this is a lovely round by Richie Larea into the penalty area. He goes, challenge made, no penalty given. Canada still come down the left-hand side. Ball in is over the head of Tajon Buchanan. You can hear the boos from BC Place here in Vancouver. We do have VAR, of course. They will be looking at it as Johnston's ball forward is intercepted, and then a heavy collision between two players. One of them is Eustachio, and the other for Qatar is up to his feet as well. There's Jabba in the centre as the ball is into the penalty area and over the heads of the Canadian attackers, and goes out of play for a Qatar goal kick. So Qatar with that early chance that was a very good one, Dion, but after that they are having to build from the back, and we'll take you through their lineup. So Abinada in goal, the back four of Al-Oui, Miguel, Huki and Ahmed. Ahead of them it's Jabba and Lay, with Edmilson Jr., who had that decent chance at the far post, Madibo and Afif supporting Abdurisag up top, as Bunada has it inside his own penalty area, all in dark green, as the Qatari fans wave their maroon and white jagged flags behind the goal, the national emblem of Qatar, and cheers as Canada win possession, and then silence as Canada lose possession. It's cleared away by Defugirol, picked up by Akram Afif, and two Qatari players get themselves in a muddle, and Canada can come forward. It's Kyle Larin, very well dispossessed by Asim Madibo, who was one of the players who got himself into a muddle there, but Canada have won it back. Here's Derek Cornelius getting forward from the back, and now Eustachio, central position, midway through the Qatar half. Goal is here, 5.5 minutes have flown by here in Vancouver on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Now Buchanan, right hand side of the penalty area, Eustachio. Johnston picks it up, plays it into the box, and it will go behind of Haman Ahmed for a Canadian corner near side. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I don't know why, but the whole of the Qatar back four, they're not really pressing their fullback, the wingers of Canada, they're just having time to get it out their feet and cross it. They've got to get out to the wingers quicker, stop the ball going into the box. That's the danger. That ball keeps going in the box. It's going to be chance after chance for Canada.
So Ali Ahmed of Norwich City comes over to this near side in front of a swathe of red-clad Canadian fans, but the corner is poor. It's headed away at the near post. Back to Ahmed, who will swing it in for Canada, and the opportunity is saved well. Jonathan David with the first-time effort on the angle, and Abunada equal to it when he caught that cleanly, Jonathan David, but straight at Qatar's number one.
Yeah, he's only 4 yards out as well, just beyond the far post. The ball goes right to the far post. He's there, he pulls away, side-footed volley on the angle, straight at the keeper. Could have done better with that, and I think that'll be a chance that he would normally put away, but I mean, Canada just dominating possession. I know it's only a few minutes in, but
yes, 62% they've had so far. And the pattern of play, you feel, is set. Qatar have won the last two Asian Cups in 2019 and 2023, but this is only the second World Cup in their history. The first they've actually qualified for, of course, they were hosts in 2022, as Canada play the ball straight out of play. As Qatar's manager, a familiar figure to our listeners on 5 Live, Julian Lopetegui, former West Ham, Wolves boss, and of course, former Spain manager, Real Madrid manager.
You know what, Vicky, I think Kone actually passed the ball to Julian Lopetegui, because his shirt is the same colour-ish as the Canada strip, so I think he's tried to play it to Julian Lopetegui and thought, oh no, you're not one of our players.
Do you know what, I think you're spot on, because it went about 15 yards away from any teammate, and Kone's, as Chris Sutton would say, is better than that. So Canada in possession outside the penalty area. It's cleared up in the air by Qatar, and then Huki trying to get on the end of his own clearance. Qatar eventually will steer it up towards halfway through Abdurisag, but Canada will pick it up once more. And here is Eustachio. We'll come back to Lopetegui, because his relationship with the World Cup is an interesting one indeed. But here goes Akram Afif, breaking towards the Canadian penalty area, trying to skip round Derek Cornelius, and Derek Cornelius caught him there, and that's going to be a free kick for Qatar and a yellow card for Derek Cornelius of Canada. And that, 8.5 minutes gone, is a very early one, and I think his teammate has come over there, Ismail Kone, to say, look, hang on, it's the first one. But it was a good position, it was a good break by Akram Afif, and I think you have to say our referee from Chile, Christian Garay, is well within his rights to give a yellow card there.
Yeah, I think Afif knew exactly what he wanted to do. He's dropped his shoulder. I mean, it's a long way from goal, but he's dropped his shoulder. He's gone by the defender very easy. I mean, he scores goals as well. Afif has got 41 international goals in 132 caps. You've got to be decent, haven't you, if you get that many caps? Wow. So between us, he's got 132, 136 caps between us. That's what we've got.
And he loves to create as well. He was the top assist maker in the Asian World Cup qualifiers. He has created the opportunity from a set piece here. It's going to be Huki to drive, the Qatar captain, and he wins the corner straight into that black-clad Canadian wall. And out of play for a Qatari set piece.
Yeah, I think it is a zonal way of defending now for the Canadians. They've not gone man-to-man. A couple of man-to-man markers over the penalty spot, but they've gone into zonal areas. Responsibility there for individuals to go and attack the ball.
And set pieces are a strength of Qatar, although, there you go, commentators' curse can't beat the first man. Akram Afif, and Canada putting on the pressure with Ali Ahmed, but Qatar deal with it well. It's all the way back to their goalkeeper Abinada, whose clearance was a little nervy. It did reach Akram Afif down by the halfway line though, and the ball goes out of play for a Qatar throw. So yes, Julian Lopetegui, I think you're absolutely spot on, Dion. He's in a dark shirt and dark trousers, and I think Ismail Kone is going to have to just have in his head that is not a Canadian teammate. But it was such a fascinating story, wasn't it, at the World Cup in 2018. He was there with Spain. He was actually unbeaten at the time. Then it was announced he was going to take over at Real Madrid after the World Cup, and Spain didn't like that, and they sacked him 2 days before the tournament started. When he qualified with Qatar, he did say, "It seems like life owed me a World Cup. Unfortunately, I got it." That entire experience Lopetegui has described being sacked by Spain so shortly before the tournament as the saddest day of his life. But he's back now, not in charge of Spain, but in charge of Qatar, and he's had a World Cup as Qatar have possession just outside the centre circle. Lovely driven ball out to the left-hand side, looking for Akram Afif, but Johnston of Celtic is there, heads away for Canada. But it's just become a little bit more even 11 minutes in.
Yeah, it has. I mean, Julian Lopetegui is that experienced. Has he wore that colour on purpose? Does he know is it a ploy? You never know. These experienced managers work in really weird ways. But you're right though, possession's kind of evened out now.
Tajon Buchanan fouled for Canada, who have a free kick deep in their own territory. Did you ever do that, Dion? Pass to a manager or pass to a steward? I've seen that before. A player accidentally seeing a yellow-clad steward. I think it was a Norwich City game, and somebody sent it right out to the steward, who controlled beautifully. But unfortunately, it wasn't a teammate.
I found it difficult enough passing to a teammate, never mind somebody I didn't know.
Dion Dublin with us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds on our West Coast adventure, isn't it, Dion?
It is, yeah.
3 games in the next 4 days across 3 cities and 2 countries for us. Off to USA, Australia,
yeah, exactly.
Straight after this game, back to Seattle.
Exactly.
Oh, we love it. We love being on the road. We love bringing you these games here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And I know it's late in England, it's mid-afternoon here, but wherever you're listening to us, thank you very much indeed for your company in this late evening in the UK. And this warm afternoon, but not too warm here in Vancouver, although the closed roof does make it a little muggy inside BC Place here. As Canada in possession, goalless. 13 minutes have been played in a game that both Canada and Qatar know if they win, it will be history, their first ever victory at a World Cup, and it would also put them virtually into the knockout stages for the very first time as well. As Canada work it down the right-hand side, Buchanan and Jonathan David, nice interplay between them. In the end, Qatar will clear the ball out of play for a Canadian throw, which they've taken quickly. And Kone will steer it back to Defugero, who's stepped up from centre half, and here now is Derek Cornelius. In field now to Ismail Kone. Cornelius once again out to the right-hand side, and Richie Larea. And now Ali Ahmed will pick it up and back to Eustachio. He's got a good delivery on him instead. He plays it short, finds Kone, who gives the ball away, and Debo is trying to break for Qatar, but can't do so, and Canada will snuff out that attack, and they have the ball in the centre circle once more with Defugero. Forward to Kone. Canada on top so far. Qatar looking dangerous on the break, but it's Canada coming forward. Buchanan, Kone into the penalty area, looking for the return ball to Buchanan, but Qatar make the interception. They can't keep hold of it though, and Canada work it nicely to Buchanan, who was certainly pulled back there by Mohamed Ahmed, and right in front of the assistant there. And now Canada are saying, well, hang on a minute, if Derek Cornelius got booked in a relatively similar position, although that was more central at the other end, then why hasn't Mohamed Ahmed gone into the book there, but the referee and the assistant say no, the free kick will do, just the set piece for Canada, not the yellow card for Qatar.
Yeah, that's just really poor defending, you know, getting on the wrong side. And Buchanan should have been on the inside, he got himself on the outside and he just got rolled there. I was saying how they're not getting close enough, he got too close that time and Buchanan was away. Pull of the shirt, free kick in a dangerous area, level with the 18-yard box, wide out right for Canada.
So Ali Ahmed comes over to take this set piece and you can hear the expectancy rise inside BC Place here in Vancouver. Ali Ahmed wipes his face with that dark shirt, swings the ball in right-footed. It's a decent delivery. Qatar make first contact. Eustachio drives from the edge of the area. He's appealing for a handball outside the box. Nothing doing from our referee, Christian Garay. And Qatar have the ball under pressure and they've conceded the corner. Not great play by Edmilson Jr. He was under pressure from two black Canadian shirts, got himself in a bit of a tangle. In Canada have the corner from this near side and they really are starting to exert a grip on this game, Dion.
Yeah, they are. The noise levels go up every time Canada get close to Qatar's box. Another corner, outswinger this time. All the black shirts are in, pushing and shoving each other.
So Ali Ahmed to take this set piece once again, swings it in again. It's not great, beats the first man but not the second at the near post, and it's cleared away by Qatar. Marcone will pick it up, and now Ali Ahmed once more infield to Johnston, who's advancing towards the byline, right-hand side, dings the ball across, and it's saved, but in at the second attempt, and Canada do have the lead against Qatar, and it's Kyle Larin again. Well, he earned them their first ever World Cup point last time out against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and he was quickest to react as Abu Nada parried the initial shot, but Larin is there from close range as the Southampton man stands with his fingers in his ears, rewarded with a start for that performance from the bench last time out by Jesse Marsh, and he puts Canada 1-0 up against Qatar.
That is a warning that they didn't heed Qatar. They tried, they haven't got close enough. There's cross after cross coming in the box. They didn't stop this one that time. He got crossed, pulled out towards the penalty spot. He got volleyed in. The keeper couldn't handle it because the strike was so good. But as a centre forward, as soon as you know there's a shot on the target, you are there for the bits. Anything got to be there. How I can get myself a tap in. Carl Lavin's there, waiting for anything that's spilt. It's spilt. He puts it in the back of the net. They deserve to be one up.
Huge celebrations from Jesse Marsh on the touchline. He might well have been here with the USA. He thought that job was his, the American. But in the end, it went to Greg Berhalter and eventually Mauricio Pochettino, and that has driven him on. He's been in charge of Canada since May 2024. He's led them to this World Cup, and now he sees them take the lead against Qatar here in Vancouver as they search for their first ever World Cup victory that would put them on the very brink of the knockout stages with a game to play. And they're coming down the right again. Buchanan wins a corner. Canada are up for this.
Yeah, they are, and the fans are up for it as well. They're doing all they possibly can with the noise. I mean, the goal itself, I mean, Alistair Johnson, the fullback, just goes past two white shirts like they're not there, and he just picks out a teammate. You've got to do better. If you want to stop losing goals, stop the ball coming in your box. You've got to defend better.
So, Stefan Eustachio takes it short. They did that quite a lot against Bosnia and Herzegovina. It didn't always work out, and it hasn't worked out this time. They've lost the ball on the edge of the area. Buchanan comes and wins it back for Canada. And Laraya will take it to the halfway line and just slow the play down. Canada leading. 18 and a half minutes gone here in Vancouver. Kyle Larin, 2-2 for him at this World Cup. And when you consider that the only Canadian player to score a World Cup goal before this tournament was Alphonso Davies. They'd scored two before the tournament, but one was an own goal. So Alphonso Davies, the only Canadian player to score at a World Cup. He's now Canada's record goal scorer at a World Cup as well, Kyle Larin. But they will be hoping for many more at this tournament, at which they are co-hosts. They can't make too much of that attack though. Buchanan won't keep it in, and it goes out of play for a Qatar goal kick, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, this is I've not seen this before. Qatar goal kick, and all the black shirts of Canada have gone in right into the centre of their half. They've not squeezed them down at all. They've let them have the ball, forcing them to do something. Qatar nearly giving the ball away. That's quite a good ploy from Canada. You have it. How good are you to get through us?
So Qatar in possession, just inside their own half, but really under pressure as they play the ball all the way back to Mahmoud Abunada, their goalkeeper, but he can't find a teammate. And Johnston has it. Was he brought down there by Abdurrazak? Yes, he was. The forward committing the foul. Canada with the free kick. And at the moment, they look brimful of confidence, the co-hosts.
Yeah, they do, and it's all coming down the right for Canada. Johnston, Buchanan there, really doubling up, playing lovely 1-2s in this right wing spot. We've seen a lot of it. We're on the side that we're just behind the dugouts, and we've got a great view here. The game has just been literally played down the right-hand side for Canada.
So, another set piece for Canada, who lead by a goal to nil. 20 minutes played. And they are very much on top against Qatar. They're complaining, though, Eustachio and Ali Ahmed. They're saying that Akram Afif is not far enough away. Akram Afif is looking to his right to the referee, to his left to the assistant, and saying, look, well, do you want me to move or not? The referee is saying yes. The assistant's doing nothing, except holding his flag down. It's not really moved at all, Akram Afif. But anyway, Canada are going to take this free kick. It's looped in, it's towards goal, and it's watched behind by Mahmoud Abunada, and it remains 1-0 to Canada here on 5 Live and BBC Sound.
Player down. Player down.
Yes, Qatar have a player down inside their own penalty area. It's their captain, Bulem Huki, and he's holding his face and he's rolling one way and then the other. Now he's lying flat on his face and kicking that right pink boot into the turf. So I think that's a little hint to VAR. Have a look at this. Whatever's happened here, let's see. Well, he's up with Derek Cornelius. Both of them go up with their arms, and I think Cornelius might just have caught Huki, but I mean they're both challenging for the ball, Dion, and using their arms for leverage. It doesn't seem like there's any more in that.
No, I think Huki there, he was going down, hands on his face. He had a little sneaky look through his fingers at the referee first, so just as he was going down, ref, have you seen that? Have you seen it? I think he's up and about now.
Well, it does give Qatar's players, it's not a goalkeeper going down, so this is the thing, if Huki goes down, then the players arguably are allowed to come over to the referee. Sorry, not the referee, their manager, Julian Lopetegui, but the referee is telling them, Akram Afif it was, and Yusuf Abdurrazak, to move away from their coach, and Huki's up to his feet. He's going to have to go off. So Qatar will temporarily be down to 10 as medical staff of Qatar have come onto the pitch to treat Bulem Huki. And Qatar will have the goal kick, trailing Canada by a goal to nil midway through the first half. I mean, they could have just had the drinks break there, couldn't they? The hydration break.
It was relevant.
But no, referee seeing it's not fit to do that at this particular time, as the ball is all the way through with the yellow-clad Sim Crepo. But still, an expectant atmosphere inside BC Place in Vancouver. Canada leading by a goal to nil. It would move them level on points with Switzerland at the top of the group. That is their final game. Canada back here in Vancouver. Dion and I will be here for that one. So our West Coast adventure continues. So it would be Canada and Switzerland both on 4 points. Neither side, neither Canada or Qatar, as the ball goes out of play for a Canada throw on the halfway line, neither side could either qualify tonight or be eliminated tonight. But as we say, a victory for either Canada or Qatar would put them virtually through to the knockout stages, as Huki is still waiting to come back on. And out to the left-hand side now, go Canada. Derek Cornelius, as Huki is allowed to re-enter the field. And Ali Ahmed will pick it up down the left-hand side. He's well dispossessed by Jassem Jabber. but they've given it away, Qatar. They cannot make it stick at the moment. Larrea will look for the run of Ali Ahmed, but too much on it, and that goes behind for a Qatar goal kick. And now we do, as predicted, Dion, have the drinks break.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they've got to do it on the time, I get that, but I literally went on the pitch and then when the ball went to the left-hand side and the referees blew up. So I think Canada at this stage of the game will be very, very happy with the way they've kept the ball, the way they've had defended as well when they've dropped off. Everything the manager's asked them to do, from what I can see, is absolutely spot on. Qatar just can't get out at the moment.
Right, can you see, Dion, the little whiteboard there that Jesse Marsh has? Let's see. I think there's a few little red dots on it. Let's see if we can work out what tactics he's going to do.
It says, I'll tell you what it says. It says milk, eggs and bread. That's what it says.
Well, he said, Jesse Marsh, in his press conference yesterday, we have to make sure we set the tone from the beginning as the players gather around him, and several of the substitutes as well for Canada who are all wearing pink bibs, because he felt against Bosnia and Herzegovina, when they drew in their opening game, the first half was more the game that Bosnia wanted to play rather than the game we wanted to play. So that was a huge target for him in this match, to start with that aggression and that intensity and purpose. And I think it reflects as well what he was saying about how they felt that first week in Toronto. He said the first week was a little crazy for us, a lot of fanfare, it was very hectic. This week has been calmer. The team are more used to media demands, for example. The team feel more focused, more prepared. Are we seeing that in the way that Canada have started?
Yeah, I think so. I think Jesse Marsh would have looked at this Qatar side. He will see that they want to play out from the back, and he's not allowing his team to get played through. So Qatar are having to think about what they do here. It's kind of a double bluff. If you're playing out from the back, you expect to be closed down. Canada aren't doing that. They are staying in a rigid sort of 4-2-4 when they're waiting for Qatar to come at them, and they're just not got the quality at the moment. They look very well drilled. Canada, they look incredibly fit as well, sharp in the final third. They'll keep creating chances. It's down to Qatar now to make sure that they don't concede another one in this first half.
Well, Julian Lopetegui is surrounded by the white shirts of Qatar. He's very animated as well. I mean, a manager with such huge experience,
yeah.
You know, what a boon for Qatar to have him at the helm. But what will he be looking for, Dion?
Yeah, I think he'll be looking for more composure on the ball. Stop rushing the game. Give yourself a bit more space when we are in possession. Stretch that formation that Canada are trying to play against you, and make sure put the ball in behind. Get up the pitch, make your forwards go in behind, and make sure you give yourself a chance to score a goal. At the moment, they've got no chance of getting in the final third of Canada's.
So, we are ready to restart after the cooling break, the hydration break. I've got to say, normally on the West Coast, we won't really need them, but we will have them. We know that they're going to be at every match in this World Cup, but these are why these kickoffs are a little bit earlier on the West Coast. This one, a 3 p.m. local time. A lot of them are midday because it will be cooler. We won't see the temperatures that are more intense that you'll get in central North America and over on the east as well. So a pleasant temperature in which to play football under the roof here at BC Place in Vancouver, as Qatar try and bring the ball down the right hand side, but they've lost it. And here go Canada down the left. It's Larrea, feeds Ali Ahmed, ball into the area. It's over the head of everybody really, and Akram Afif then a little bit of a miscue, but does manage to retain possession. No, he doesn't. Lost it for Qatar, tussling with Alistair Johnston of Celtic. Now picked up by Kone for Canada, who are well on top here, leading by a goal to nil. And Kone was fouled there, and that's going to be a free kick to Canada, central position, midway through the Qatar half. Canada 1, Qatar 0.
Kone has got a lot of energy, and he just wants to get on the ball. He's running towards the ball all the time, as if to say, give it to me, I'll give it you back, I'll make things happen.
Here is Buchanan down the right hand side, plays it back to Kone, former Watford man, spent 18 months with them. Applies his trade in Serie A with Sassuolo. Here is Diffugeron, plays it forward to Tajon Buchanan, works a bit of room for the shot, got a little deflection and will fall to Jonathan David. What a finish that is from Canada's record goal scorer, and it is greeted with joy and jubilation here in Vancouver. Oh, he caught that so sweetly on the volley, and Abu Nada had absolutely absolutely no chance. And Canada are charging towards their first ever victory at a Men's World Cup. It's Canada 2, Qatar 0.
You know what? I don't know. Why are they defending like that? Buchanan has gone from the right wing. He's kind of level with the 18-yard box on the right wing. He runs towards the box. He gets the ball into his feet and he turns 22 yards out and he has a shot. He's got all the time in the world to hit the target. Hits the target with pace and power. And again, Kyle Larin's strike partner is there, record goal scorer. He's there as well. And you know what? David's got to tap in from 4 yards out. You're going to go no further in this competition if you defend like that.
Too much space. But he did catch it sweetly, didn't he? Kept his composure. And again, a man who, as we said, Dion, has been under pressure because he didn't really live up to the billing. He's one of Canada's star players. Didn't really live up to the billing in their opener. But that was the finish, was the composure of a man who is used to banging in the goals for Canada. And he gives them that cushion in this first half with half an hour gone against Qatar. Jonathan David and Kyle Larin, the two men up top, doing the damage for Canada. And Qatar, well, they need something pretty special from Julian Lopetegui. Look, there's a long way to go, but I think with this home crowd here in Vancouver, Dion, the momentum is with Canada and then some.
Yeah, it is, and the confidence levels as well from Qatar look like they've been like a bloom that's been popped. They've got nothing there at all. They're giving the ball away. Like you said, lots of time left in this game. They might have a little bit of a flourish, but they're all over the place.
And they could be in again. Canada, it's Buchanan, goes down, penalty. Oh, it is falling apart for Qatar. It's a yellow card as well into the bargain for Homam Ahmed. And Canada could be in dreamland here in Vancouver.
I'm in disbelief. I've actually just sat back in my chair and I'm thinking to myself, well, what are you doing? Why are you allowing all of the midfield for Canada to get the ball down and play? Kone's getting it down and play Buchanan, Ahmed as well on the right-hand side. And they're having all the time in the world to pick a pass. It's just disbelief.
They are crumbling, Qatar, inside the opening 31 minutes. Now there's players surrounding the penalty spot. Laraya is standing right on it, trying to guard it. The referee is trying to send everybody away. So Canada, having just doubled their advantage through Jonathan David. As we see more replays of Jesse Marsh's celebrations. I tell you what, he celebrated that penalty like he was celebrating another goal. And now they do have a chance, Canada, but VAR are checking. They're just having a look as regards whether the foul is inside or outside the penalty area. So Jonathan David had put the ball on the spot. He'd walked back to start his run-up.
Frontal review. The defender, number 14, commit the opportunity goal. Final decision is red card, direct free kick.
Right, so there we go. There is the announcement. The foul is outside the penalty area, so it's going to be a free kick, and because that then is denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, it is upgraded from yellow to red for Homam Ahmed. I mean, dear, I'm not sure what Qatar would prefer there. Probably not that.
No, they definitely want 11 players on the pitch. Referees took his time there, and I think his assistants, VAR, they've taken their time, they've come to the right decision, and that's how we want it to be used, with pace as well, a few seconds. Yeah, I mean, Canada would want the penalty, of course they would, and I think Qatar would want 11 players on the pitch, but it's beggars belief how you expect to go any further when you cannot defend. I mean, I think the first contact might be outside. We're looking at some replays here. Then he falls into the box, so
it's interesting, isn't it? I mean,
it's a close one, isn't it?
It is, because it's a barge, and if that barge continues, if it's a push that continues into the penalty area, then it is a penalty. It looks very close
Yes,
to the line.
yes.
I mean, we've not seen a freeze frame. I mean, either way, it's a bad outcome for Qatar, but that is an interesting one. You almost need to see a freeze, don't you, on the contact, because it looked very close to on the line, and if the foul's on the line, then that counts as part of the area and it would be a penalty. But anyway, VAR have had a look. That's what VAR have decided. We presume they've frozen it in the right place. We'll wait and see if an image flashes up other than the replay that we've just seen. But that's the decision. So red card for Homem Ahmed. Qatar down to 10, Canada leading 2-0, and they have a free kick inside the D, about a yard outside the penalty area, and still, okay, it's not a penalty, but a very good opportunity to make it 3-0 to Canada against Qatar in the first half here in Vancouver. So the free kick struck over the bar by Ali Ahmed, and the BC place deflates.
Yeah. Ahmed there just trying to get it up and down, not enough room between ball and goal to get it up and down, not when there's a wall there of 6 players. I think you have to go with pace and power, probably goalkeeper's side. But yes, this is not looking good for Qatar at this present time, unless they have a spurt of quality and energy. They're going to have to do something, Vicky, because it's just going to be chance after chance for Canada if they don't.
Well, Jesse Marsh said in his press conference yesterday, in response to a question by the BBC's Isaac Fannin for World Service, that he doesn't like cliches. To be fair, it was he that started with the cliche and then said, well, I heard enough of those in England. But given that we're surrounded by snow-capped beautiful mountains here in Vancouver, it is the proverbial mountain for Qatar to climb now. Down to 10, trailing by 2-0, up against a raucous home crowd, but they're in possession midway through the Canadian half, and here is one of their star men on the ball down the left-hand side, Akram Afif. He is challenged well by Tajon Buchanan, and the ball goes out of play for a Qatar throw. 9 minutes plus added time to play in this first half, and Canada lead by 2-0 against the 10 men of Qatar, who have the throw deep in Canadian territory. It's Akram Afif with the runners ahead of him. One of them is a Durasag, but the forward can't keep hold of it. Then he pulls back Jonathan David. The referee doesn't play advantage, but Canada's still in possession. Jonathan David over the halfway line, finds Kone on the right hand side, and he will play it into the area. It's blocked away off Isolé and will go out of play for Canada throw. They've taken it nowhere near where the ball went out, but it's about 15 yards back, so the referee and the assistant have let them get away with that. And here is Derek Cornelius, forward to Luc de Fougerolles, out to the right hand side now, and Tajon Buchanan. But Canada looking so composed, so confident at the moment as they come forward once more. Down the right hand side, it's Buchanan who's looking ever more lively, and he skips past Abdurasag, ball into the area, cleared away by Qatar, but they cannot pick up the second balls at the moment. Qatar has been the pattern of play for the last 10-15 minutes or so, and Derek Cornelius, the centre half, is midway through the Qatar half, plays it to Ali Ahmed on the left hand side. Laraya's made the run, looking for David Buchanan on the stretch, and it's cleared away by Afif off the goal line. Might well have been an offside in there somewhere. Flag doesn't go up. Qatar eventually were appealing for it through their captain Boulam Houki. What an opportunity for Canada, who flicked the ball into the area once again, but Buchanan's header is gathered by Abu Nada. But my word, Canada weren't clinical there. It should have been 3-0.
It should have been, actually, yeah. I mean, great little play again on the left-hand side this time. They end up getting the ball right on the byline, and they pulled it back across the 6-yard box. I mean, Buchanan sprinted in so quickly, he moves to his left, and the ball goes to his right, and he's kind of leaning to try and get it again. His weight's in the wrong place, but it is a really good chance. If he could have sorted his feet out, it would have definitely been 3. But yeah, it's like this. It's like that Canada have got the wind and they've got the slope of the pitch. Everything just seems to be playing in Qatar's half.
So Qatar in possession, out to the left-hand side they go, and Akram Afif will pick it up once more. Plays it in field, but it was just ahead of Jabber. Jabber actually did well there, managed to get his foot to it, and it's picked up by Qatar's captain Boulam Houki. No change yet from Julian Lopetegui, despite Qatar being down to 10. They've got 7 minutes plus added time to go until the break, so we'll see if there's a reshuffle then. As Qatar pick it up once more with Akram Afif. It's intercepted by de Fougerolles, and the ball will go out of play for a Canada throw. Even though Akram Afif has taken it quickly, it will be Canada's throw, and Johnston again has taken it nowhere near where that ball went out, and this time the referee says, well, no, actually you shouldn't do that, I've decided. And so Canada will have to take the throw right in front of Jesse Marsh, just inside his own half. He's jotting notes down on a notepad there. The big whiteboard with the shopping list has
he's just added something to the list, shopping list.
So Canada in possession, leading by 2-0 against 10 men Qatar here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Defugerol picks it up, plays it out to the right hand side, and Johnston, and now Tajon Buchanan cutting in fields, plays it to Defugerol once again, and in field now to Jonathan David. Took a little deflection and drifts behind, just angles away from that far post, out of play for a Canada corner.
Yeah, it might be disheartening for Qatar. Madibo in the middle of the park and Jabber in there as well. The two of them have had none of the ball. They like to dominate the ball and had none of it at all, because they can create in the midfield, but they've had no ball at all in order to try and create anything.
So he is now making a change before half-time to reshuffle after that sending off for Haman Ahmed, Julian Lopetegui. Sultan Al-Break, who's a left-back, is coming on for the forward, Yusuf Abdurisag. So he will slot in where Haman Ahmed was, the man who's been sent off. And his first job will be to try and defend this Canadian corner, which is swung in by Eustachio. Defugerol was up there, brought down by Canada just inside the penalty area, and Kone tried to place it from just inside the penalty area, but the flag's up. It was blocked away anyway by Qatar, and Qatar will have a free kick inside their own penalty area. They trail 2-0 Dion Dublin. Yeah, they do. I mean, I do like the centre-half Defugerol, I've got to say. He's very comfortable on the ball, and found out a little bit about him. My old friend Stevie Caldwell there, he's done a bit of coaching with him. He knows him very, very well. And if he's anything to go by, Stevie Caldwell, very aggressive, quick, powerful in the air, likes to get the ball at his feet and pass out from the back. Played against Stevie many times back in the day, and Defugerol is very similar to the way Stevie played, very aggressive, gets it down, passes it into midfield, organises all his teammates around him. So if that's anything to go by with this side, they're only going to get better, only going to get stronger. And he's playing partly because Moise Bombito, who is on the bench and is nearing a return, big centre-half, very influential player for Canada, has been injured. So Defugerol and Derek Cornelius is the current pairing. Defugerol, as well as Canada have it just inside their own half, actually born in England, qualifies for Canada through his dad. And what a proud moment for him, as Canada lead by 2-0. They have never before won a World Cup match. If they can see this one out against the 10 men of Qatar as we approach half-time, they will virtually be through to the knockout stages of a Men's World Cup for the first time in their history. Qatar in possession, just outside their own penalty area. Abunada has it, plays it over the halfway line. It's asking a bit too much over on that far side of Ayoub Aloui, the right back, getting forward there. And Canada will have it once again. Here is Luc Defugerol out to the right hand side, and Alistair Johnston. Canada coming forward once more. 3 minutes plus added time to go in this first half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Kone picks it up right hand side, plays it to Buchanan. Johnston wants it, Johnston gets it just inside the area, plays it behind off Madibo for a Canada corner.
Madibo just switching off there. He's moaning at the official closest to us, who stood near the corner, just moaning at him for an offside. What you've got to do is you've got to stay with your runner. It's a simple 1-2. You don't stay with your man, you start moaning at the officials. Do your job, get back in, work hard. 10 men now, you have to do even more work to stay in the game.
So Eustachio over this corner for Canada, raises his right arm in the air, swings it in. Defugerol headed towards goal. It's cleared away on the edge of the 6-yard box. Oh, then Derek Cornelius goes down. He wants a penalty. Well, players surrounding the referee. Afif is furious for Qatar. Now the Canada players come. It's gone out for a throw, but Canada are being told not to take it because VAR are having a look. Jassim Jabber is over, saying, well, look, hang on, if that's not a penalty, then it should be a second yellow for Derek Cornelius for diving. Oh, this is all very interesting. Let's see. Well, Cornelius there has kicked the back of Jabber and he's gone down. Well,
yeah, I don't think that's a penalty. I think you're right. Cornelius there, what he's done is took a lovely touch in the box, about 3 yards inside the box, He's spun on his right foot, just about to strike it with his left boot, but as he pulls his foot back, he kicks the back of Jabba's right leg, just behind the knee. Referee's got this one right. Play on as you were.
Well, Qatar, I think, there's more to pick out of that from their perspective. Let's just watch this Canada attack. It's Tajon Buchanan outside the penalty area. A lovely bit of footwork, plays it in field to Kyle Larin, who tried to get the shot away. It's cleared away by Huki, clipped back in by Canada. Huki's there again, will head the ball. The Qatar captain out of the penalty area. Derek Cornelius out to the left-hand side and will be collected now by Ahmed, and Cornelius has it on halfway. It's one of these things, there's 11 changes that have been made in terms of the rules and the laws of the game and everything that VAR and FIFA and IFAB have brought in. They can look at wrongly awarded second yellows, VAR, but they can't check challenges that should be another yellow if not given. And there is an argument from Qatar's perspective to say that Cornelius went down there, tried to win a penalty, when actually it was he that initiated the contact. But it's not given, and because it wasn't awarded, then it's something that VAR can't check as the ball goes out of play. Canada wants a corner, that's not given. I don't think anybody's happy with the referee at the moment, Dion.
No, I don't think anybody thinks he's got it right either. Yeah, that was a corner which he's given. A goal kick, yes, a little bit up in the air, all the ruling, all the changes and stuff. I think they're still getting used to it, to be honest with you, and we're going to have to do the same as well.
I think we all are. So 6 minutes of added time and we're into them now. Canada leading by 2-0 against 10 men Qatar. And again, Qatar may feel that number could possibly have been evened up. Right decision not to give a penalty for Canada with Cornelius. Could Cornelius have had a second yellow for he actually committing the foul and then going down and trying to win the penalty, as ball goes out of play for a Canadian throw. And here is Derek Cornelius. We're saying as well that he's on a yellow card in this game. Johnston and Defugerol are on yellow cards for the first game against Bosnia and Herzegovina. So 3 of Canada's back line at the moment are 1 yellow away from a ban. Of course, if Cornelius gets another yellow in this game, we'll just be off. We won't need to worry about picking up a yellow card ban. Will be sent off as the ball is into the area. Buchanan heads it across, and that's brilliantly cleared off the line by Qatar. They're trying to get it out of the penalty area, and they eventually managed to do so. So close to a third for Canada, and a goal line clearance where they were denied by a couple of goal line clearances against Bosnia and Herzegovina in Toronto in the opener. And that time Qatar, with some superb defending, have kept the deficit at 2-0.
Just goes to show how important that early chance there for Edmilson Jr. You know, if they put that one away, then...
Oh, here goes Buchanan as Canada looks to put one away. Kone's gone down, he's rolling around in the area. Referee again unmoved. Kone still grabbing his right leg as Canada are in possession in the centre circle. Derek Cornelius is going to slow the play down and see if Ismail Kone's okay. Jonathan David is saying, look, just get on with it, keep playing. He's now walking to Ismail Kone and turned his head away. I can't see what he shouted there, but Kone has got up, so maybe that was what Jonathan David said. As Buchanan, right hand side of the area for Canada. Johnston swings it in, and the header is this time in. Larin with the header, Jonathan David on the goal line. Well, I think they might both claim it, Dion, but the upshot is Canada are 3 goals to the goods against Qatar. Larin's header. Qatar initially thought they might have done enough to try and keep it out, but Jonathan David was there on the goal line to make sure that the ball went over, and Qatar now, well, it looks like the impossible task for them. It looks as though Canada are going to make more history at this World Cup. They lead Qatar on the stroke of half-time by 3-0.
You know what? It's a really good save as well by Abunada in the goal. I mean, the header is 6 yards out. He saves it, palms it away. It's a certain goal until he claws it right-hand side. Brilliant save by the keeper. But again, their defenders are second best getting to the ball. And who's there again? Jonathan David for another tap-in. That's how we like them, those little tap-ins for the forwards. Keep counting them goals, young man. He's always there. 41 now for his country.
for Canada's record goal scorer. 2 at this World Cup, and it's just another little subplot to the battle that he and Kyle Larin have going on. They've traded record goal scorer monikers for Canada over the years. Jonathan David overtook Kyle Larin a couple of years ago, and now they have 2 goals apiece. They're now equal as Canada's record World Cup goal scorers. But as we say, this is a Canada side that are focused on not individual records but team records, heading for their first ever World Cup victory against 10-man Qatar, and we're still only in the first half and they've got the ball in the area again. It's Eustachio. They're enjoying themselves now, Canada, as they caress the ball around as Johnston brings a save out of Abu Nada. They're all at it. That was the right back of Celtic getting forward.
Yeah, it's what we used to do in training. Forwards against defence. The forwards have the ball, they try and score, defenders get back into a good shape, and you have to stop the forwards scoring. This is exactly what's happening here.
Here goes Eustachio. And now Tajon Buchanan. Canada in complete control here in Vancouver. Out to the right-hand side, and Johnston swings the ball into the area. Qatar will clear away. Underneath it was Laraya, and now Derek Cornelius. And now Kone, the furthest man back for Canada, the central midfielder, plays it to his central midfield partner, Stefan Eustachio. And now Laraya. They're not letting up here, Canada. Down the left-hand side, it's Ali Ahmed into the area. Lovely little flick to Laraya. They're playing some beautiful stuff here, Canada, as Laraya's forced out of the penalty area. Pulls it back to Defugirol. And now Kone. Qatar dropping deeper and deeper and deeper. 10 men of Qatar trailing by 3-0 as we play out the final few seconds of added time at the end of this first half, as it's cleared away by Aloui, who will look for the 1-2 with Akram Afif, and Aloui does get there, and Defugirol will clear that ball out of play for a Qatar throw. Dion.
You know what, if you can keep scoring goals like this, you know, Switzerland as well, they got their goals too. So you know what, I do believe that there'll be more goals in the second half if, well, Qatar, you know, I do feel for them now because they've shot themselves in the foot. They've defended terribly in the first 5 minutes. They should have scored in the first 2 minutes. And now they find themselves with a huge task in the second half.
A task that, quite frankly, looks insurmountable, but you never know what can happen in football. 2 goals for Jonathan David, Canada's record goal scorer. Another for Southampton's Kyle Larin. Has Canada against 10 men Qatar after Homan Ahmed was sent off for denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. Very much in the driving seat as they look for more history, as they look for their first ever World Cup win. And Dion, it is near impossible to see Canada throwing it away from here.
Yeah, you would hope so. Completely dominant in every aspect of this game. Energy, organisation. I mean, Defugirol and Cornelius, the 2 centre-halves for Canada, are literally 10 yards away from the edge of Qatar's box. That's how deep they are.
So a very good first half indeed for Canada, and important as well. I think we're going to see Canada come out flying again in this second half because, as we say, their final match is against Switzerland. At the moment, they're tied on points with Switzerland at the top of the group. If they finish level with Switzerland, if they draw that game, it's going to go down to overall goal difference. And if Canada win the group, they potentially will have 2 more games in Vancouver. So there's more at stake here for Canada. Yes, it's history. Yes, it's almost getting virtually to the knockout stages with 1 game to spare. But winning the group would be such a boost for them to stay in Canada as well. So still plenty to play for Canada. Qatar as well, if you're thinking about a 3rd place team, goal difference could be so important for that. So they will come out as well, at least looking to get on the score sheet and reduce this deficit. And it's all to come here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. But for now, we can hand you back to the UK and Casa Alon.
Thank you very much, Vicky. And Dion, very good point there about goal difference starting to come into play, particularly if Canada want to stay in Vancouver for the next couple of games as well. We'll be back with Vicky and Dion at the BC Place Stadium for the second half. But watching that was, I imagine, a very happy David Edgar. I mean, that couldn't have gone any better for Jesse Marsh and the team, could it?
No, it couldn't have gone any better. I mean, if Carlsberg did first halves, right? It had a bit of everything. I mean, we had a scare in the first minute or two in terms of what Qatar was going to offer in the counterattack. But apart from that, total control, total dominance, organized, high energy, exactly what Jesse Marsh would have asked for and the response. Brilliant.
And also, it's what Jonathan David would have asked for as well. I mean, a couple of goals, boost the confidence, and I'm being tongue firmly in cheek here, but keeping up with the other great strikers of the World Cup in terms of Harry Kane and Haaland and Mbappe and even Messi have all got off to an early start and got on the score sheet.
And what? Not though, really. I'm glad he's got his now. I'm glad the conversation can stop and we can just move forward thinking about the rest of this group as well, because he's always been getting in these positions. Even you can call it a drought, whatever it may be, but he's broke it now. He's got his 2 goals and he's hungry for more, hungry for a hat-trick. He won't want to come off that pitch. And obviously Kyle Larin there, he's got his goal as well. So they'll be looking for more for sure. Goals are going to matter.
It was a bit of a soft red card, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'll have to be honest with that one. I think, and no, I know Tejan is a player, and I think he looks a little bit for that contact, but it's a great run to get in behind, and obviously from that position, it's a defender's nightmare. Whether it's inside the box or out of the box is neither here nor there, but the lads have gone and got their third man.
I mean, as a player, would you rather concede a goal or concede a penalty, or take a red card?
Yeah, it was a funny one because I saw Stefan Eustachio celebrating the yellow card and not the penalty. It's easy to say now because they've got their 3rd goal, but playing against 10 men could be tough. Sometimes I would take that penalty and go 3-0 up. Because of the fact that going against 10 men can be extremely difficult. Like you say, they're absolutely camped in their 18-yard box now. It's going to be like that for the next 45, 50 minutes as well. So it's tough to break down, but they've got their goals and they can relax a little bit now.
Absolutely. And everything is pointing towards Canada's first ever World Cup win as well. I mean, how do you think you and the rest of Canada will react to that?
I think hopefully we take some time to really digest it, what's happening and where football has come and is going in this country. But I know how quickly things move on, and we're going to be looking to, okay, what's next? We have to win the group so we can stay in Canada. But really, I think there's a lot of proud Canadians to not only get this first major milestone, but to get the World Cup in Canada. It took a lot of good Canadians behind the scenes, a lot of good people who really have cared about this game when the sort of as a whole didn't really care, have got to this stage. So it's a credit to a lot of people, a lot of Canadians.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for your time. That's a former Canada international, David Edgar. And we'll get a quick word from David at full time as well. But right now, 11:57, let's get the latest news headlines.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Polls have closed in the Makerfield by-election in Greater Manchester, which is set to be the most consequential by-election ever. Counting is now underway, and it's expected that we'll find out early tomorrow morning who local voters have chosen to be their new MP. All eyes are on the former mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, who's expected to launch a Labour leadership bid if he returns to Westminster. A man has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after a 3-year-old boy was found seriously injured in a zoo's crocodile enclosure. Police were called to the Johnsons of Oldhurst Zoo in Cambridgeshire earlier today. While the events are still under investigation, police say they believe that the child, who's in a critical condition, and the 30-year-old suspect were not known to each other. A 37-year-old former teacher has been given a whole life order for the sexual abuse and murder of his adopted 13-month-old baby. Jamie Varley adopted Preston Davey in March 2023 with his partner. The baby died 4 months later. Varley's partner, John McGowan Fazakali, was sentenced to 25 years in jail for crimes including allowing the death of a child.
Stories so wild.
It's actually real and it actually happened.
They need to be seen to be believed.
Believe in Magic was like no other charity.
The mother of all cons.
It was all based on a lie.
Hi, the Dubai drug bust.
It's almost like going into shock. Bam! I thought my life was over.
kidnapped by my mum.
She thought she was doing what was best for me.
And loads more unbelievable stories.
I just remember thinking, whoa.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
The voice of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With Casa Alom.
And as you were just hearing there, polls have closed and counting is underway in the Makerfield by-election. So early polling suggests that either Labour's Andy Burnham or Reform UK's Robert Kenyon are likely to take the seat. Now, earlier I spoke to our political reporter Harry Farley, who's at the count tonight.
It will certainly feel like it's been going on for months if you are one of the voters in the towns south of Wigan that make up this Makerfield constituency, because one cabinet minister was telling me in the last couple of days that the Burnham campaign has knocked on every single door in this patch at least 8 times. So I can imagine people here possibly getting a bit fed up of the show that has been descending on their patch of Greater Manchester for the last few weeks. I mean, in terms of how we got here, of course, it was the Labour MP Josh Simons, his decision to step down. He was only elected a couple of years ago, to step down with the specific intention of making way for Andy Burnham to return to Parliament and challenge Keir Starmer for the leadership. So it is difficult really to overstate the significance of this by-election. I mean, hyperbole upon hyperbole has been used to describe what it means, but it really is difficult to overstate just how significant it is, because if Andy Burnham wins tonight, in the next few hours, if he defeats Reform in an area, of course, that Reform won around about 50% of the votes just last month in the English local councils, if he wins, then that will almost certainly trigger a process that leads to the challenging of the Prime Minister, an attempt to overthrow the Prime Minister. And if he doesn't, if Reform win in, of course, what is Andy Burnham's own backyard, then that will trigger a crisis within the Labour Party that, to be honest, I haven't found a single Labour MP that's even willing to contemplate what that will mean.
Now, the eyes of the world may be on North America right now for the World Cup, but one woman wanted to bring another focus. Nahala Summers has cycled 2,000 miles across the US, hoping to spark conversations by following a route that spells the word kindness when looked at on a map. She started in Minnesota in May and completed the route in Iowa last night. And I had a quick little chat with her earlier as well.
I'm feeling relieved that I made it to the end, for sure, but also encouraged. You know, there is a lot of division in the world and people are really feeling it. And what I found was that there is an outpouring of kindness towards me. I knew nobody when I arrived in America, and people stepped up, and now I know 100 people. And it was the same throughout. We really need more of this in this current climate. So it was really heartwarming for me, and I'm definitely coming away from it feeling a little bit more optimistic than I've ever been.
I love hearing that. But of course, you're saying people have stepped up, but that's because they've seen what you've been up to and how you are trying to spread this important message as well. So what you're doing is also incredible. Tell me where the idea came from.
Well, I started doing these challenges when my partner passed away back in 2012. So I've been doing ridiculous things for quite some time, but this was my last one. And I wanted to challenge the idea of what success looks like in society. We measure so much by money, how much we earn, how much, you know, everything is around money. And I wanted to challenge the idea, what if we measured success by human connection? So I asked people to do an act of kindness for a stranger instead, to show their support. And then it started this kind of fascination and movement towards kindness and what that really looks like. And it's not just about being nice, actually. Nice is often completely the opposite to kindness, but it's about kind of honesty and integrity and great emotional intelligence, and it's around true human connection. So, yeah, it started with that, and it's just continued to grow, really, and now it's my entire work and life. So, yeah.
I know you've said you've made so many connections along the way, but is there any that have stuck out along the way? Any particular reaction from someone or a place that you went to that really responded to what you're trying to do here, writing kindness all the way across the States?
It's impossible to put it down to one. I mean, absolutely impossible. I mean, I've got a book worth. I'm writing a book about it all, A Journey to Kindness, and it is just, it's endless. Out here in America, there is lots of small communities, and what I found, there is just incredible connection between people. And as soon as somebody says, this person needs help, everybody's rallying around, supporting that person. And it really demonstrated the importance of kind of country living. A little place called Bird Island really have just adopted me. And at the end of the ride, I've come back here and I'm staying here with people here. What I did find was that I might be somewhere for a very short space of time, maybe a day or just a night. And the reaction was that people were incredibly sad to see me go. Tears would be had, and we connected. And for me, it was very much around the kindness element. People want to see more of it. People want to hear more stories of us connecting and being stronger together than we are apart. On the bike, there was 2 seats, and I asked people to come along with me. And I did get people. I mean, I was walking up, one day I was walking up a hill because I couldn't get up it, and a couple stopped. And the lady said, I'll jump on. And she then came up 2 miles with me and got me up 2 hills. And her husband followed in the car. People want to connect. And she was overwhelmed and so happy that she'd been part of it. We want more of it. And I think it's felt like there's a drought of kindness, but actually there isn't.
That's Nahala Summers there, who cycled 2,000 miles across the US, hoping to spark conversations by spelling the word kindness when one looked at a map. And I suppose, Dion, Vicky, Qatar will be hoping for a little bit of kindness from Canada as well, so that this scoreline doesn't go a bit too much further at BC Place Stadium in Vancouver.
I don't think they're going to get it. Sadly, from a Qatari perspective, it is Qatar who are preparing to get us underway. And they've made a double change at half-time. Edmilson Jr. and Jassim Jabber have been replaced by Mohamed Mane and Ahmed Fati. And what a big player this is back for Canada. No, not that one, not Alphonso Davies. Moise Bombito, the Nice centre-half, is on for Derek Cornelius. And Dion, that's partly, I'm sure, to get him back on the pitch, but also Cornelius on a yellow card, possibly could have been done for simulation as well, and got a second yellow after going down, actually committing a foul in the penalty area and trying to win a penalty, as Qatar look to use Manai very quickly into the penalty area, but it's all the way through with Maxime Crepeau. So this is how it stands, with Canada leading 10-man Qatar by 3-0 early in the second half. They are currently level on points and goal difference with Switzerland. Switzerland are ahead on goals scored at the top of the group. So if Canada can score one more goal, they'd be ahead of Switzerland on goal difference, and that means if they draw their final match against Switzerland, then they would finish above the Swiss in terms of the head-to-head, if that was necessary. So that would be big, because if Canada win the group, then they will potentially have 2 more games in Vancouver. It means they stay in Canada in the early stages of the knockouts, which of course with home advantage is so huge for them. They're in possession. We'll take you through the change lineups in a moment with those 2 subs for Qatar and the 1 for Canada. So Canada currently in possession. It's Defougerol out to the left hand side, and Ali Ahmed, Eustachio's ball into the area. It's cleared away. Canada try and win it back, but Pookie will just about get there, the Qatar captain, and play the ball out to the far side. So as the announcer goes through the substitutions, what are you expecting from Canada in this second half, Dion?
Pretty much the same. I mean, the second half started with Qatar in a line of 5 at the back and a line of 4 in front of them.
As the ball comes into the area looking for Kyle Larin, it's cleared away, but Canada will come again. Here's Ali Ahmed, plays it forwards and will receive it back once more. Ali Ahmed in field to Eustachio, and now here is Moise Bombito, such a huge player for Canada to have back. Defougerol now to Larea, left hand side, taking on Akram Afif. Plays it to Kone, into the area, takes the touch, gets the shot away. It's blocked by Qatar, only as far as Johnston. Right-hand side of the Qatar penalty area. Now Eustachio, the referee has to get out of the way pretty quickly, but Eustachio plays it back out to Johnston. His delivery is blocked away, cleared up towards halfway by Qatar, but they are so deep, the white shirts, Dion.
They are, and even when they do get the ball, who they're going to play it forward to? Literally a line of 5 white shirts on the edge of their own box, 4 white shirts in front of them. I mean, Canada have had all the ball. I don't think there's been a Qatar player that's touched the ball yet.
And that was good work by Norwich's Ali Ahmed, but he can't quite win the corner. It goes out of play for a goal kick to Canada, who lead by 3-0 against 10 men Qatar. And you can hear now the cheer around the stadium as Moise Bombito's substitution is announced and confirmed by the announcer.
Yeah, they're in a situation now, Qatar, where they are ruining the chance on the far post by Edmilson Jr., which they should have scored and should have been ahead of. Then they put themselves in a very difficult position because they're not going to have any of the ball at all. They've just had it there in front of their manager, Julian Lopetegui. They've given it away as well. When you look forward, if you're down to 10 men and you look forward and you haven't got a centre forward to drop it into and try and get up the pitch, you just have to work so much harder.
Here they come down the right-hand side. Ball played into the penalty area by Johnston, but it's blocked away by Qatar. And there is real intensity, real purpose from Canada, because they will know the maths. They will know if they score again, if they can up that goal difference and get ahead of Switzerland, then a point will be enough on the final day back here in Vancouver against Switzerland to top the group, because they'd be level on head-to-head, and so they'd win on the overall goal difference. So this is important for Canada, who've never made the knockout stages before, who've never won a World Cup match before. As they come forward, little back heel by Larin. Kone trying to bring it down. Larin got the shot away eventually. Out to the right-hand side once again. Qatar with backs to the wall, but it is wave after wave of Canada attack as Buchanan wins a corner on the far side.
Yeah, I mean, Canada really should be scoring 2 and 3 in this half. If they're going to have this much possession in the second half, they are going to, 71% possession. And it's just been 5 yards outside the Qatar penalty box, pass after pass after pass, and they're finding their teammates in the box with just a slide ball in between those white shirts. Qatar just clearing it and then it comes back again.
Oh, here we go. VAR are checking for a possible penalty, a potential handball, and it's come up on the screen. So Canada at the moment have a corner. Could this get even better for them? They've already had a penalty ruled out and given as a free kick outside the area. That led to a red card. But it looks as though, VAR's happy. It's just going to be the corner. The referee signals for play to restart. And the check is over. So Canada with the corner from the right-hand side. It's swung in high. It's over the head of everybody, including Pedro Miguel of Qatar. And Madibo will try and counter, but again, they just can't hold on to possession, Qatar. Often they've got to the first balls and they've cleared it, but they just can't do anything with it, and Canada just come again. Yeah,
that's the frustrating thing now. If you haven't got players that are willing to put a proper shift in, which I'm sure they are, but it's just, you have to work so hard to get yourself up the pitch, get the ball down, and play. He's hurt himself here.
Yeah, this could be an issue here, and there's real fury. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. And Canada's players have their head in their hands here. A yellow card has been brandished for the challenge. Madibo has gone into the book, and it's all kicking off now between the Canada players and the Qatari players, because there's real concern here for Canada. And you can see as well that the Qatari players are also distressed by this injury here for Canada. The stretcher is already on, and the Canadian players, many of the substitutes wearing pink bibs, have come and surrounded their teammate to shield their player from the eyes of the media and us sitting here in the gantry. Jesse Marsh has come up as well, and Abu Nada has come over to the man who was booked for the challenge, Asim Madibo, who looks absolutely distraught. Dion.
He does. He looks very close to tears as well, because he knows that he may have hurt a fellow footballer, and no footballer wants to do that. Physical game, but when you know you've hurt someone, it really does hurt you. And now he's got his head in his hands, and his teammates are trying to console him. He looks distraught, he looks upset.
Yeah, Mohamed Manai has come over, and Asim Madibo is now looking to the skies, and you can see, Dion, the agony on his, and we've just seen him there. I think he's just said, what's happened? As in, how has a serious injury come about? Because, I mean, we've not seen any replays. It's Kone who is the player that is being protected by his teammates.
I'm not sure, has the referee given him a yellow card or a red card?
Well, VAR is now checking for a possible red card, but to be honest, I think that is the least of Asim Madibo's concerns here. I mean, he is genuinely distraught about the impact that his challenge has clearly had on Ismail Kone, and again, and actually it has been given as a red card, and he is being ushered off the pitch. But again, we have to say there are no protests here from Asim Madibo. Dion, he is clearly devastated at what he's done here, and again, we have to say we're not seeing any replays, and that shows you just how serious this is. And now there's coming togethers between the two benches, between the technical staff, because clearly Canada are devastated by what's happened here to Ismail Kone, and tempers and emotions and feelings. And Dion, you'll know this, you know, having been down there and played, and it's awful for the members of both teams, and when it's a teammate in particular for Canada, emotions are running so high. Yeah,
it's a horrible situation to be in, you know, and Kone's just been lifted off on a stretcher now. You can always tell when it's bad. The player didn't move at all. It wasn't a two-footed lunging tackle from what we've seen. We haven't seen a replay yet. Don't really want to see a replay.
No,
if I'm honest with you.
I don't think we will, because it looks that serious. I mean, he is conscious on the stretcher. It looks as though he's being carried off. He's being placed right onto a yellow gurney, so the stretcher has been placed right onto that.
I think actually he was putting a thumbs up to the fans, so he is conscious. He's saying thank you to his fans for the ovation as he comes off the pitch onto the wheels, stretcher with the wheels. And now the fans are singing his name as well, try and keep his spirit, so I feel for him. Didn't look like a tackle that was a lunge or aggression. Sometimes they are innocuous, sometimes you fall funny, sometimes the contact. He sat up now on the stretcher, brilliant, he's clapping. Oh, that's great to see.
Yeah, so he is sitting up, Ismail Kone, as the Canada fans around the stadium chant his name. He's giving Jesse Marsha a big hug, and he's being wheeled off on this yellow gurney that is almost waist height. So, and now all the Qatar substitutes as well, and that is so good to see. And it just shows, Dion, how something like this just transcends football, and it transcends rivalries, and it transcends a World Cup and wanting to win, that the Qatari substitutes have gone to Ismail Kone as well, who is still being wheeled off. It looks as though he's holding a mask to his face, so whether he's being given oxygen, but he's conscious. Again, we haven't seen a replay of the challenge, so we can't give you any more details about that, as Canada's players now come together in the centre circle, and Kone is still, this is such good news. He's sitting up, he's waving to the crowd, he's breathing through this. It's almost like a green instrument, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be pain relief.
Yeah,
that'll be pain relief there, just to try and keep him as conscious as possible and the pain away. I mean, he's getting an ovation from all the Canadian fans down there. He's going behind the goal now, and he'll be going down the tunnel. But I'm glad he's sat up and waving, which is great to see. And that was good to see from all the subs from Qatar as well. Off the bench, straight into the technical area as Kone was being wheeled by. They all wanted to give him a high five. And you're right, Vicky, when stuff like this happens, especially in the footballing world, you do just tend to go, right, we're all footballers here together, let's look after each other, and that's exactly what happened there. A bit of tension early on, but...
So, Kone, obviously, is substituted off. Nathan Saliba, the 21-year-old Canada Young Player of the Year back in 2024, is on for his World Cup debut. Well, as we say, Canada's players were gathered there together in a huddle. And Dion, as Qatar have defending to do in Canada, have the ball just outside the centre circle, it is so hard to get your head back into a game of football after seeing what is clearly such a serious injury to a teammate.
Yeah, and having been, on either end, being on the pitch while a teammate gets injured and being injured as well, I've been on both ends of it. Neither is nice at all, and it's very much a psychological thing now for all those Canadian players in black shirts. They've got to get their head around this, and they will be thinking 100%, let's see this one out, let's get some more goals, and let's get and see how our teammates doing. Let's get this one boxed off. So
Qatar, I mean, to say their game is gone is the biggest understatement, and this is why they're making this change. So Akram Afif, one of their huge stars, is replaced by Al-Hassimi Al-Hussein, and again he's getting booed by the Canada fans. I mean, he's done absolutely nothing, but I think there is bad blood now in the stadium because those Canada fans are thinking about that tackle on Ismail Kone from Asim Madibo, who was sent off. Yellow card given initially, but upgraded to a red card, and clearly a very serious injury for Ismail Kone. And again, we've not seen a replay, and that in and of itself, listeners, shows how serious it is, because that's when they don't show us replays, when it is a horrible injury. So we wait to see his prognosis as the ball is played into the Qatari penalty area and claimed by Mahmoud Abanada.
I'm not sure if I've seen an international match or a game that's has a feel of this, because I mean, he just caught the ball there, the keeper, and he's got no one to throw to because all his teammates are in the box. He can't throw it out to anybody, he can't start anything. So basically they've sort of, relegated themselves to, well, let's just defend.
Well, they've got 9 players after a red card apiece in each half. So there is, again, we say there's an opportunity here for Canada. The question is, mentally, can they just try and get their focus back on this game after that horrible injury for their teammate Ismail Kone? And his welfare will be uppermost, of course, in their minds as they play the ball into the penalty area. And the run was being made by Ali Ahmed of Norwich, but the ball goes out of play for a throw on this near side. And Jesse Marsh down in the technical areas, deep in conversation with his coaching staff. But you can hear, I'm sure, listeners, what it's done to the atmosphere here in BC Place in Vancouver. A lot of concern for Kone as Larea comes down and wins a corner down by the byline for Canada on this near side. Canada leading by 3-0 against 9-man Qatar. Half an hour to go. Score 1 goal and they'll move ahead of Switzerland on goal difference, and that could be key. It would mean a point against the Swiss in their final group match here in Vancouver next week. Would be enough to top the group and stay, crucially, in Vancouver for the start of the knockout stages. They've got a corner, they lead by 3-0. It's swung in by Eustachio. Abanada came, Qatar just about do enough to get it away, and it will be picked up once more by Larea. Out to the right hand side he goes, and in field now to Nathan Saliba, the youngster who's come on for the injured Kone, as Moise Bombito plays the ball forward. Canada have it midway through the Qatar half. Out to the right hand side, ball into the penalty area, took a deflection. It's going to be another corner. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, it's now it's a mental thing for the Canadians. Now you can actually drop your guard and be less potent because you have so much of the ball. It becomes so easy that you start to get sloppy.
Well, they're taking the corner short, Canada, and they're going to blaze over outside the penalty area, but it's another foul by Qatar, and it's going to be a yellow card brandished to the substitute, Ahmed Fati. It was Ali Ahmed who went down for Canada, so it's going to be a set piece, and it's a clumsy one, Dion. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, Fatty there, just getting that one wrong. I mean, the strikes, he's gone about a second before he comes in with a lunging tackle on the edge of his own box as well. This is where the discipline kicks in. This is where you have to stay in your 2 banks of 4 now, because that's all they've got. Nice and tight, force Canada around the outside and then defend as well as you possibly can, but you can't be lunging in when you've got 8 players on the pitch and give free kicks away.
So, good set piece opportunity this for Canada. It's just to the right of the D, 23 yards out. And they've got a host of players around it. Canada playing in the all changed black strip, Qatar in their all white strip. With the red numbers on the back for Qatar, the white numbers on the back for Canada. Can they make it 4-0? They are heading for history. They're heading for their first ever World Cup victory. But this will give them a real grip on this group. It's Saliba! It's in off the post! And Canada do have that goal! It's a super free kick from Nathan Saliba. In off the post. And they all come over, Canada's players. Luc de Fougerolles. And now held aloft by Nathan Saliba is the jersey of Ismail Kone, who has had to go off in this game with a quite horrendous looking injury. Our thoughts remain with him. Canada's thoughts clearly remain with him. And Canada now have a real grip on this group. They're heading for history. They're heading for their first World Cup victory. And they are heading to the brink of the knockout stages.
That's a very emotional message there to his teammate. I mean, Nathan Saliba with a great free kick. He doesn't want to take any plaudits for the free kick. It was an outstanding free kick, but all he was thinking about is his teammate Kone. And they're here on the break again.
Ball into the area. Larin was there, so is Ali Ahmed. Qatar just about do enough. Larin will keep it alive. Now it's Larea, edge of the penalty area, out to the left-hand side. And it's Larin once more. And here is Larea. Plays the ball over on that far side, and it's cleared away before it can be trapped by Tajon Buchanan, and Canada have it on halfway. Well, a lift for these Canada fans inside BC Place. They lead by 4-0. Out to the left-hand side they go, and that won't be kept in by Canada. Goes out of play for a Qatar throw. I should say, actually, the FIFA commentary information system has got very confused here. It thinks that it's 3-1 Canada, because now it's changing it. Initially, they'd given that as a goal for Qatar. Do you know what? As a commentator, that's kind of the worst thing you can see out the corner of your eye. But yes, they're correcting it now. We can assure you, listeners, it is 4-0 to Canada. And Qatar's goalkeeper, Mahmoud Abanada, has gone down. Now, of course, under the new regulations, Qatar's players should not go over to Julian Lopetegui, with the goalkeeper being down. And interestingly, Canada's players are being told to move away as well by the referee. And this is it. I'm not sure if FIFA have clarified that. You know, if the opposing goalkeeper goes down, then is it also that, I presume it is, the home players aren't supposed to go over to their coaching staff either. But it's an interesting one.
Is that another rule, is it? Another rule that's coming?
Well, it's so that the team of the goalkeeper that goes down doesn't gain an advantage. But actually, I wonder if it'd be more of a deterrent if actually the other team could come over to their coaching staff, but they've been told to go away by the referee as well. Mahmoud Abanada is back up to his feet for Qatar, and again it's almost at the drinks break, isn't it? So as the Mexican wave goes around the lower tier of the stadium. And do you know what? I think that goal has given Canada a bit of a reset. The fact that we saw Ismail Kone conscious, sitting up as he was stretchered off after what, as we say, it is clearly a very serious injury, one that is so bad we've not seen replays of. But actually they've got the 4th goal now. They've held his shirt aloft. They are still very much playing with him in their hearts. and they're playing with Canada in their hearts as well, as that ball in from Ali Ahmed is cleared away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Qatar and goes out of play for a Canada corner. They take it short, they take it quickly. It's Laraya, they take it too quickly, says the referee. The ball was moving, and they're going to have to take it again. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, they're playing the game in the right way. Canada, they're just moving it quickly. They're just trying to score as many goals as they possibly can. Looking very positive. You can slow things down and make it easy for yourself, but they are looking to get as many goals as possible. It's a very, very good chance for them to do that as well.
And they're working it down the right-hand side. It's intercepted by Mane for Qatar. And Canada will have it once again. Here is Moise Bombito in field now to Richie Laraya. Fizzes the ball forward, too much on it for Ali Ahmed of Norwich, and it goes out of play for a Qatar goal kick. Dion Dublin.
I'm not sure if the ball has been in Canada's half, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if we've got the drinks break now, the hydration break right now, but it's literally forwards against him. 8 players in white shirts looking absolutely shattered. Those Qatar players looking absolutely out on their feet, walking over to get the drinks. They're getting clapped by their teammates and their staff because they are putting a proper shift in. It's going to be a hard shift as well for the last 22 and a half minutes, I've got to say.
Yeah, 9-player Qatar trailing Canada by 4-0, and now all of Canada's players are standing with their arms around each other. The substitutes in their pink bibs, the black shirted players that are out there on the pitch right now, and Jesse Marsh in his dark suit is standing and speaking animatedly in the centre. And I mean, Dion, we're seeing a close-up. My lip reading's not good enough to see what he's saying, but yeah, he looks incredibly emotional, doesn't he, Dion?
Yeah, I actually think that Jesse Marsh has called everybody in there, and they're doing that thing that they do in American sport where they all put their hands in, and this all brings them together as well. Jesse Marsh was clearly crying there, tears in his eyes, obviously thinking about Kone and his injury, and we all hope he's okay, of course we do. But I just feel that this is just a game they want finished, and they want to go and see how he's doing. He's wiping his tears away from his eyes there, Jesse Marsh. As the huddle breaks away, it's clear to see that he's very, very upset. The players are all upset as well. They want to score as many goals as they can and just get back on that coach.
And if you're just joining us on 5 Live, as Dion touched there, Canada are leading 9-man Qatar by 4-0. It's a scoreline that will put them ahead of Switzerland on goal difference and puts them in real control of this group. It will mean a point is enough back here in Vancouver at BC Place against Switzerland in their final group game to win the group and stay in Canada for the knockout stages. They're heading for their first ever World Cup victory, but the context is that serious injury to Ismail Kone, Canada's midfielder, an injury that was so bad that we've not seen a replay. It was a foul by Asim Madibo, initially given as a yellow card by the referee, then upgraded to a red card, and as we say, you know, we know in broadcasting when you don't see a replay that is because it is awful, and it's been the story in the build up to this World Cup, Dion, for Canada. You know, they've had so many injury struggles, and Jesse Marsh has gambled on naming players like Alphonso Davies, Moise Bombito. You know, he was asked about it at the naming of the squad. You know, essentially, you know, you've chosen a lot of players who aren't going to be able to play until later in the tournament. And now he's just starting to get some of these players back, and now has to contend with this horror injury to Ismail Kone. But now Jesse Marsh, as Canada make a double change, Oliver Shea and Schaffelberg are on, Defugirol and Ali Ahmed come off. Jesse Marsh, big hugs for both of them, and he's waving his arms around in his dark suit, the American, the former Leeds United manager, getting the crowd behind his players again, because this is a day of joy and celebration for Canada. It's going to be their first ever World Cup victory. It's going to take them to the brink of the knockout stages. They've never got out of the group before. But it's also a day of real emotion and real concern for one of their players, and just the cauldron of emotions inside BC Place right now as we sit here, Dion, and look around at these red-clad Canadian fans. I mean, it feels like people don't really know what to feel and what to think.
Yeah, I think that's a very good way of putting it as well. I mean, this is my third game at this World Cup, and I've never seen a hydration break finish so quickly. They must have been finished 45 seconds before time, and they were all the players were stood on the pitch, head down, hands on the hips, as if to say, can we just get this over with? Because, you know, the players in white, Qatar, are feeling incredibly emotional as well. Canada know that they're going to have the ball for the rest of this half as well. So, yeah, it's a very odd feeling in the stadium.
So Canada 4, 9-man Qatar 0. And Canada heading top of the group as things stand, as Eustachio plays it out to the right-hand side. Ball swung into the area and chested behind for Qatar. And it will be Al-Hashimi Al-Hussein who made that interception, as Christine Sinclair, Canada women's record goal scorer, watching on, and again her thoughts will very much be with Ismail Kone as Canada prepare to take this corner. Swung across that face of the 6-yard box. Qatar make first contact out to the right hand side, and Tajon Buchanan. And now Richie Larea, a bit of space for Schaffelberg, but he won't latch onto it. And Eustachio will pick up the ball, flipped into the area, but won't be controlled over on that far side by Jonathan David, on a hat-trick himself, having bagged a couple of goals this afternoon with us. Early hours of the morning back in the UK. Wherever you're listening to us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, we're delighted to have your company. Whether you're driving up and down the country, whether you're struggling to sleep this evening, it is a joy to have you with us here live from BC Place in Vancouver. Canada 4, Qatar 0. Qatar playing with 9 after a red card apiece in each half. And incidentally now, that is 6 red cards for this World Cup. We only had 4 in the entire of World Cup 2022, as Johnston brings it down the right-hand side in field now to Eustachio, and now Nathan Saliba, who scored that quite sumptuous free kick, might go for goal again. Closed off on the edge of the D, so plays it out to the right-hand side, and Johnston now in field to Eustachio, and will try and work it down the right now. Canada, Johnston whips the ball in, it's well saved by Abu Nada, picked up by Tajon Buchanan, twisting one way then the other. Qatar again get the block in, and it's in from Schaffelberg. Might go down as an own goal. Schaffelberg with the drive, might perhaps have been curving wide, but Mohamed Mane, trying to clear, could only slice the ball into his own net. And Canada are heading emphatically for more history. For their first ever victory in a Men's World Cup, they have humbled Qatar. 9-man Qatar. They lead by 5 goals to 0.
Yeah, it's I mean, that kind of sums up today. This game, actually, an own goal that didn't need to be an own goal. He didn't know where he was on the pitch. He's trying to clear the ball, and he just swings it into his own net. I really don't know what he's thinking. I mean, yes, it's going wide. It's an awful own goal, it really is. It's going wide of the left post. He was on the far post. He's going back towards his own goal, and he's thinking it's going in. It's going wide, and it just off his right shin, it deflects it into his own net.
Well, Schaffelberg it was who ran away celebrating, and as you say, Dion, it was a real skew from Mane. It's been given in the stadium to Schaffelberg, but you kind of expect that potentially from the Canadian announcers. They might get the angles out and get right behind it, because I'm sure Schaffelberg will be saying, well, hang on a moment, I'd quite like to claim that. I think it was on target, so we'll have to see. But either way, it is Canada who lead by 5 goals to 0. Out to the right-hand side they go, as it's looped over, this time on the edge of the area from Tajon Buchanan, and goes out of play for a Qatar goal kick. And again, the commentary information system's got itself in a real bother here. It still thinks it's 4. I'm just going to ignore it now.
Don't look at that screen,
I know. It keeps catching the corner of my eye. There you go. There's a big one up there.
Just above the pitch.
A big one up there. It is a huge display that shows a massive screen to all 4 sides of the ground, and actually, sometimes watching that, it actually feels closer to the action because it's so big than where we are in the gantry position. As the attendance is announced, and it is a full house, 52,497. That is the official capacity at BC Place in Vancouver for this World Cup. As Canada have the ball over on the far side, leading by 5-0. They will be heading top of the group this evening, and a point against Switzerland here in Vancouver next week will be enough to see them win the group. They are virtually into the knockout stages anyway, but winning the group would mean they stay in Vancouver for the early start of the knockouts, as Schaffelberg will trap the ball down by the byline for Canada. It is still wave after wave of Canadian attack. Here is Larea. Ball in was deflected, could have gone anywhere, goes behind for another Canada corner. Dion Dublin.
It's such a pity that the game has ended like this, especially for the injury to Kone, but it's sort of fizzled out and the energy's gone from the stadium a little bit as well. And I do feel for Qatar, but if you start a game like they started and you miss a chance like Edmilson missed as well.
So Eustachio to take the corner. It's cleared away by Qatar from pretty much underneath their own crossbar. And Canada will pick it up once more. Here is Schaffelberg, the substitute, and now Eustachio once again receives it back from Nathan Saliba. And Eustachio to lay it off to Saliba once more, and now Larea, Schaffelberg again, and Canada will win another corner again. Dion Dublin.
It's a few corners now, isn't it? Wow, it's a few. It's got to be 8 or 9 corners, I think, for Canada in this half. Just want to see it out now. Keep moving the ball quickly. Move that 8-man defence.
And they've taken it quickly. Yeah, they do love doing that, Canada. And the deflected effort from Schaffelberg has gone behind for another corner, the 12th, I can tell you.
Oh, it's the 12th,
the game.
Is it?
This is the 12th. Yeah,
which screen are you looking at, though? Which screen are you checking?
I know. Do I trust it? This screen does now say it's 5-0, so I'm going to trust it on corners.
They took their time,
22 attempts on goal for Canada, if we trust the screen. Let's trust it for now. As Eustachio comes over to this near side to take another, the 12th corner for Canada. Raised that bandaged hand in the air and swings it in, and again Qatar make first contact pretty much underneath their own crossbar and will clear away, but there's 9 of them. They can't do anything other than clear it up towards halfway, and Canada will come again. Here is Eustachio. Schaffelberg on the outside, and Schaffelberg will pick it up and plays it into the area, and Miguel was there, and it's behind for another 13th corner for Canada.
By any chance?
So after us here on 5 Live, if you're still up in the early hours of the morning in the UK, 2 a.m. kickoff, Mexico against South Korea with Lee Blakeman and Charlie Adam. Tomorrow, Dion and I, after this game, are heading straight back to Seattle. We will be bringing you, and I cannot wait for this one from Lumen Field, USA against Australia. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff UK time. And as Canada swing the corner in again, Qatar make first contact, but they're so deep. They're all still inside the penalty area. Schaffelberg drives. Well, I think that would have been his had it been on target, but it wasn't. Flashes a few yards wide, and it's a Qatar goal kick. Canada 5, 9-man Qatar 0. So after USA Australia on 5 Live tomorrow, the small matter of Scotland against Morocco. Do join us.
It's
11
great, isn't it, to say that, isn't it? It's great to be able to say that Scotland are here. I think it's brilliant. They've been absolutely outstanding. Qualification was so exciting as well. And I mean, even if Scotland aren't playing in the city where their team are playing, there's still Scots. They're everywhere. I was in New York earlier on in my trip, and I've seen them all over Manhattan having a great time. We wish them all the best.
We certainly do here on 5 Live, and BBC Sounds. Dion Dublin with us. Early evening in Vancouver, early morning in the UK. Canada 5, 9-man Qatar 0. And the big concern still in this game, on what otherwise is a day of joy and jubilation for Canada, is that serious injury to Ismail Kone. Stretched off the pitch, he was conscious, sitting up and applauding. But it looked like a very nasty injury as Johnston has it down the right hand side, plays the ball across. It's a good save by Abinada, guarded that near post well, and it goes out of play, not for a corner this time, for a throw to Canada.
Yeah, they are. I like the attitude of Canada. They're really trying to find the openings with good play as well. Qatar, I don't think Qatar have been outside of their box for the last 5 minutes. All 8 white shirts of Qatar have been in their own box.
And the green figure of the goalkeeper Abinada now comes to that far post. He does well, gets a touch on that. but now is out of position as Canada play the ball back in, and it's flicked across and then blazed over by Schaffelberg. Do you know what? I think he knows that our little screen here, Dion, has changed, as you said, his goal to a Mohamed Manai own goal, and he's
shooting from everywhere.
He's shooting from everywhere, isn't he? Wide, unfortunately,
Absolutely.
and high for him. But,
Schaffelberg there on the angle that time, 25 yards out, bouncing in there, coming all the way across. Got a flick on at the near post. He's at the far post. He's thinking, right, I might as well have a go here. I thought I had a goal, but I haven't. And now I'm one.
So Abinada is down again. Canada are going to make their final change. Nico Seeger is going to come on. Plays his football in Croatia for Hajduk Split. And let's see who he is going to replace as Abinada gets a little bit of treatment, and Jesse Marsh is a couple of yards on the pitch, the Canada manager. But I mean, it's Tadron Buchanan incidentally as the ball goes up, and Nico Seeger is going to come on. But Dion, I mean, the first thought in everybody's minds after this game is going to be, how is Ismail Kone? But when you're out there on the pitch, you've got a game to, you know, you can't stop, you've got to keep playing. Is it sometimes actually just easier as a player just to fully focus on what you're doing and try and put everything else out of your head? And actually that's the easiest way to deal with those thoughts in the back of your mind, wondering how Ismail Kone is. I mean, again, we have to reiterate, if you're just joining us, it was what looked like a really poor challenge by Asim Madibo, only given us a yellow card initially, then upgraded to a red. Qatari and Canadian players both very distressed at the damage that it did to Ismail Kone. We haven't seen a replay which tells you how bad the injury was, but he was conscious, he was sitting up, he was applauding, he hugged Jesse Marsh. The Qatari substitutes went to him as well as he was stretchered off. So they know that he's okay, in inverted commas, Dion, in terms of the most important sense of okay. The injury, well, we're going to have to wait and see. But Canada's players now, knowing that the first and foremost okay has been answered, are applying themselves with professionalism, with confidence, with composure. They lead 9-man Qatar by 5-0. They've got the ball in the area as we've restarted play here, as the shot is swiped in from the edge of the area. Might fall to Kyle Larin, bounces away. It's Oliver Shea, can't quite get the shot away. Canada will pick it up again outside the Qatari penalty area, and Schaffelberg will work it back to Larea, laid back to him by Larin. They've kept so many attacking players on the pitch, Canada, as well. They might against the 9-men of Qatar, but that ball was poor, and it's all the way through with Abinada. Canada 5, Qatar of 9 players, 0.
Yeah, in answer to the question, Vicky, it is mentally very, very tough. I've been on the pitch when players have been really hurt. It's a horrible feeling. Mentally it's horrible, and you do have to try and go into what you've said, professional football mode, where you have to get the job done, and then you can go and find out how your teammate is. And having been the player who's been injured as well, you want your teammates to get the job done. Stay professional, keep moving the ball. They're doing exactly that, Canada. They've been outstanding today.
And they have the ball on the right-hand side. It's Alistair Johnston. Has Seeger ahead of him, but Johnston it is. He whips the ball in, looking for Oliver Shea, and Abinada claims that well. He's had a good 5 minutes or so, Abinada. He's been tested by a lot of high crossers, but he has really kept his focus. And again, we talk about how distressed the Qatari players were at the injury to Ismail Kone. Again, from their perspective, focus is incredibly hard, and they're playing with 9 players now, given the 2 red cards in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're getting through it. However, as a player playing for Canada today, I'm looking to try and get my centre forward his 3rd goal. Get the ball into Jonathan David as soon as you possibly can. Pick him out with a little side foot pass and get a hat-trick for the boy. He's been under so much pressure.
Well, here he is, just outside the penalty area. Drives it straight into that white wall of Qatari defenders. Out to the left-hand side and picked up by Schaffelberg. Saliba had made the run. Larea is picked out instead. Now Saliba tried to go for the 1-2 and will just latch onto it down to the byline, pulls it across, and it is another Canada corner. 14. Here we go.
14, eh?
Well, big cheers as Christine Sinclair is up on the big screen. It looks as though she doesn't quite realise that she's on the screen. She's looking around, trying to work out why they're all cheering, and now she just looks up. Canada's record goal scorer.
She's got a nice glass of wine there as well. I think she's trying to hide it.
I know, and the thing is, they've already seen it, Christine, so she's not gone to it. But big cheers for her. Qatar have made another change. Lucas Mendes is on, and the substitute Ahmed Fatih has actually come off. So Canada with this corner. Qatar inadvertently flick it on at the near post. They're struggling to clear. Oluwaseyi can't latch onto it for Canada, but they will steer it back into the penalty area. Left hand side now is Eustachio. Bombito getting forward from the back, and then Qatar felt that there was a foul in there, stopped playing. Unfortunately for them, the referee agrees, and it will be a set piece for Qatar as that substitution is confirmed. Dion Dublin.
I mean, it is a. And I mean, I don't know if you, Vicky, you've done lots and lots of games, lots of internationals. Have you ever felt an atmosphere like this before? It is very odd in here, isn't it? I mean, there's so many people in this stadium that are so quiet, very eerie.
Canada 5, Qatar 0, 9-player Qatar, but the reason for that strange, subdued atmosphere. Again, if you're just joining us, this is why we keep referring to it, and because it was such a serious injury. Ismail Kone, Canadian midfielder, stretched it off in the second half after a poor challenge by Asim Madibo, who was sent off, initially given a yellow card but then upgraded to red, and that is why Canada are on the verge of history. There is this strange atmosphere around the stadium. But here's Eustachio, plays it in looking for Oluwaseyi, and Abinada's there again. But this is, let's just reflect on the fact that Kone is, of course, uppermost in everybody's minds here, and that is why the atmosphere is like this is. But this is going to be, in terms of result, in terms of performance, in terms of their first ever win at a World Cup, that's going to put them on the brink of qualifying for the knockouts for the very first time. This has been a superb performance from Canada.
Brilliant, professional in every way. Even with a teammate that's hurt, they've kept the ball, they've moved it.
And they're doing exactly that here as the ball is swung into the area over the head of Larin, collected by Schaffelberg. Plays it out to Nathan Saliba, who dinks the ball in field, looking for Jonathan Davids, the record goal scorer for Canada, who, as Dion says, is on a hat-trick, and the ball goes out of play for another Canadian corner.
15.
Number 15.
15, yes. Yeah,
good maths, Dion.
14 and 15. Thank you very much.
They've taken it short again. That is a real tactic of theirs. Qatar have switched off here. 9-player Qatar. Larea can't get his shot away. Seager might. Has blocked away on the edge of the box. Schaffelberg. Space now for Jonathan David. Unselfish. Tried to chip it to Larin. Cleared away by Qatar. Canada trying to keep it alive. Qatar have a player down inside their own area, and the whistle does go. And it's going to be a free kick to Qatar inside their own penalty area. 89.5 minutes gone, but I reckon we could be in double figures here for added time, given the severity of the injury to Ismail Kone and the length of stoppage.
Yeah, maybe 9-10 minutes, I would have thought. Took their time with Kone there, making sure that he was as comfortable as possible when they were leaving on the stretcher.
So Qatar prepared to take this free kick just outside their own penalty area as Jesse Marsh, with his hands in the pockets of his dark suit, watches on. Saleh loses out for Qatar, but was fouled for Qatar, and Qatar will have a free kick as we enter 9 minutes, not quite double figures, but 9 minutes of added time. But I think you're right, Dion. Everyone inside this stadium is waiting for the game to finish so they can celebrate what will be Canada's first ever World Cup victory at a Men's World Cup. It will be emphatic. It will be by at least 5 goals against 9-man Qatar. And there are a few chances now, aren't there, of we want 6 as Qatar play the ball into the penalty area. Goes behind, and I think that's the first thing that Maxim Krepo has had to do all second half, Dion.
I wonder if these Canadian fans would ever think they'd be shouting "We want 6" at a World Cup. They have been very good. They've done what they needed to do. The game kind of ended halfway into the first half, never mind now. But I do like the attitude, I like the application.
Oh, here goes Saliba. It was met and scored by Jonathan Davids. And Jonathan Davids, Canada's record goal scorer, does have his hat-trick. Canada lead 9-man Qatar by 6-0. And I have to say, that is one of the most, if not the most muted celebrations that I've seen for a man getting his hat-trick, because thoughts still stay with Ismail Kone after that serious injury in this second half. But the Canada fans around us are waving the Canadian flags because there is history being made here by Canada. They are storming to a first ever World Cup victory, and they are putting themselves virtually in the knockout stages for the very first time as well. And that man, Jonathan David, deserves his little piece of history once again.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's been great today, you know. Got himself a nice hat-trick. I mean, he hasn't had much to do to get his goals, but his third one there, lovely first touch, 8-10 yards away from the goal, takes a touch with his left, spins and strikes it with his left. Really, really good centre-forward play, that is. The hat-trick ball is yours, sir. Well done.
And Canada come forward again. This is so key in the context of the group as well. It means a point against Switzerland here in Vancouver in their final group game will be enough to win the group, and that will keep them in Vancouver for the start of the knockout stages. A stage that Canada have never before reached. They're going to at this World Cup. They're virtually there. As Saliba sees his low cross gathered by Abu Nada at his near post. It's not mathematically certain, but they will be in the last 32, Dion.
Yeah, they will be. They will be. Their job now in these last few minutes is to get Kyle Larin his hat-trick as well. That'd be nice if he can get a hat-trick. Be incredible. I mean, do you take Jonathan David off just to look after him?
Well, I've got to fit. I need to do some maths, Dion. But
don't look at that screen because that's not going to help you.
I know. I think they've used all their subs, Canada, so he's going to have to stay on. But he won't mind too much as the ball goes out of play, and it's another Canada throw. I mean, from Qatar's perspective, this is one of the, in every way, the most devastating games in their history. They're going to end it with 9 players. They're 6-0 down, and again we have to say Asim Madibo's reaction as Schaffelberg goes for the little chip and Abu Nada clutches it out of the air. Asim Madibo's reaction when he realised how badly he had hurt Ismail Kone, he was absolutely devastated, Dion.
Yeah, he was. Tears nearly streaming down his face. Abu Nada there, the goalkeeper of Qatar, just kicking the ball back to Canada because all his teammates are literally 5-10 yards away from him. So
here come Canada once again. It's Moise Bombito. His return from injury has been a positive in this game as they work it out to the right hand side. Johnston looking for Larin. It's cleared away by Qatar. Seager will pick it up over on that far side. We've got 5 minutes of added time to play. Canada 6, 9-man Qatar 0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Canada whip the ball in once again. It's cleared away out of play for another Canadian corner, and I make it 16.
It is quite easy if you're Canada to...
Yeah, they played it short again and they just have it taken off their toes in the end. But Qatar, I mean, look, they've got 9 players there. You're up against it, really. They're out on their feet, Qatar. They can't prevent the short corner, and Canada take it once more. Here's Larea, swings the ball into the area. It's cleared away by Qatar out of the penalty area, but Larin then, I think, just a little over exuberant and does commit the foul. And it's going to be a free kick to Qatar down by their corner flag. And, you know, again, just thinking about it from a World Cup, a positioning perspective from Qatar, when you're looking at those third place teams, you know, having got their first ever World Cup point in their first game against Switzerland, goal difference could be so key when it comes to third place. And this will be devastating for them in that regard. 6-0 down.
It will be. They would have come into this game with hope as well of getting a result, and they nearly went ahead. It feels like hours and hours ago Edmilson Jr. had that chance on the far post and they could have gone 1-0 up, if you can believe it. Now they're 6 down.
And they're down by 2 players as well. A red card in each half. As Canada win a throw on this near side. Oliver Shea will take it again. Jesse Marsh stands with his arms folded. What a proud moment this will be for the former Leeds United manager, the first American to manage Canada. He is going to manage them to their first ever World Cup victory. Here's Eustachio, central position, 30 yards out. Now Schaffelberg, left hand side of the penalty area, swings the ball in, and Abu Nada's there and will claim. Canada 6, Qatar 0. Qatar with 9 players, 2 minutes plus added time to play here on 5 Live. A reminder that Mexico against South Korea is coming up at 2 a.m. UK time. If you're still with us, congratulations to you.
Yes.
Because we know it's early. Lee Blakeman and Charlie Adam will be talking you through that one on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as the flag is up for offside against Qatar, and Canada will get things moving quickly again. 2 minutes of added time to play here in Vancouver. Eustachio coming forward over the halfway line. Picks out the run of Alistair Johnston. Now out to the right hand side, and Nico Seeger finds Johnston on the overlap. Qatar tiring. Larin can only flick it across the 6-yard box. Weaver's in a great position there, Kyle Larin. He started things off for Canada early on. As Qatar now have a player down on this near side. They've got the free kick and they're getting short shrift from the Canadian fans. It's Al-Hashimi Al-Hussein who's down, rolling around. And the referee is the only person coming over. None of his teammates are checking on him, but the official is, as we see, flashing up on the big screen. So I think I'll trust it, Dion. 30 attempts on goal for Canada, just 2 for Qatar.
Yeah, it's a game that's been finished a long time ago. What I was saying, Vic, is very easy to become a little bit flash in this situation where you're 5 up, 6 up, 4, whatever it may be. You've got all the possession, and you start to do flicks and you start to sort of take the mick out of the opposing side. Canada haven't done that. They've taken 1 and 2 touches. They've really been professional. You can lose your professionalism when you are this far ahead with this much possession, but they've been brilliant. They really have been brilliant today, and their fans should be proud of them.
Here goes Oliver Shea down the left-hand side for Canada. Can they find a 7th goal? Tackles flying in. Referee says no penalty. Inside the box as Qatar clear up towards the halfway line. We've got 20 seconds of added time to play. Maxime Crepeau, the goalkeeper, is urged to shoot by the entirety of BC Place. He's not going to. Very wise from the goalkeeper there for Canada. They're just knocking the ball around now. Now play it to Larin, edge of the D, surrounded by white shirts, but almost wiggles his way through. And it's swiped away by Sultan Al Break for Qatar, and Canada might have time at the end of this game to take their 18th corner of the match.
It's got to be a record, sure. Got to be a record.
Wouldn't surprise me. And Saliba is there, nods the header towards goal, won't quite be kept in. And we've played over the 9 minutes of added time now. There may just be time to take this Qatar goal kick, but now BC Place does rise, because this is a moment of history for Canada. Their first ever World Cup victory. They have thumped Qatar by 6-0. Qatar ending this match with 9 players. But the celebrations a little more muted than they might be, because thoughts immediately go to Ismail Kone, who went off after sustaining what looked like a very serious injury from a challenge by Asim Madibo. Initially yellow-carded Madibo and then sent off. Kone stretchered from the field, and now it's all spilling over between some of the coaching staff and the substitutes, and on the halfway line it really is turning into a fracas here. And now this is the emotion. This is all because of that injury to Ismail Kone. It spilled over at the time. We have to say the Qatari players were just as devastated and just as upset when they realised the damage that Madibo had done to Kone at the time. But clearly emotions still running incredibly high here, as Canada's thoughts are wrenched away from their first ever win at a Men's World Cup that puts them on the brink of qualifying for the knockout stages for the very first time, and immediately snap back to their teammate Ismail Kone, who was conscious when he left the field. He hugged Jesse Marsh as he was stretchered off. He was waving to the fans, but still, Dion, it has been a game that has just swirled with every single emotion under the sun. And every single thought of every Canadian player in here, and I'm sure of the Qatari players and fans as well, as it has all calmed down now, and Canada's players are gathering together and Qatar's players are walking around the pitch and will, I'm sure, start to walk over as they do now to their own fans. But the thoughts are now with Ismail Koney as Jesse Marsch gathers the Canadian players together, and they all take a knee together. They're in a circle together, they're crouching down, and Moise Bombito is leading the team talk. Jesse Marsch is leaving it to one of his most experienced, one of Canada's best players, who made his own return from injury as a substitute in this game. And Moise Bombito is speaking with passion, he's speaking with fervour, but you can see, Dion, the expressions on the faces of those Canadian players. This should be one of the greatest moments of their careers. It is the greatest moment of their national careers, but you can see the anguish that is on the face of the players and the substitutes and the coaching staff as now Jesse Marsch begins to speak, because there is so much concern here for the severity of the injury that Ismail Koney has sustained.
Yeah, that's a massive statement of we are together, we are together, we are a team. There's a piece missing at the moment that's on a stretcher, so we have to stay as a team. They come out the huddle. It's just great to see. You're right, they're allowing themselves to have a little bit of a moment, a little bit of joy. They're appreciating the fans now who have helped them through this game emotionally and mentally, and now the fans are waving, and I'm pretty sure they will go around this whole of this pitch and clap their fans, which they are just starting to do now, without a doubt. That's brilliant, it's great to see.
And Julian Lopetegui has just come right over to Jesse Marsch, and Jesse Marsch has stormed off. He's waved a hand in disgust at Julian Lopetegui, the Qatar manager. Actually, I think what we were seeing there, possibly, as we look at the screen, that was a replay. So that's what happened. That's what happened at full time. Lopetegui went to Jesse Marsch. Obviously, we presume to talk about what happened with Ismail Koney. Then it was all kicking off on the halfway line. So now Jesse Marsch, live pictures, is with, when we're in the stadium here, he is with the Canada team. He's walking around, and the fans now around BC Place are celebrating. But it's worth saying as well, Dion, when Nathan Saliba scored that goal to put Canada 4-0 up, immediately, it was a super free kick, it was in off the post, but immediately he and Luc de Fougerolles came over and they held aloft a shirt bearing the name of Ismail Koney, and it is so clear, Dion, in that moment and continuing in this moment, the thoughts and the hearts of these Canada players are with their stricken teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they know that Koney's in the best hands, he'll be getting the best treatment, and now I think the manager must have said, listen, this is a moment in history here, you guys, we've got to really enjoy it. And now he's taking them all round, he's clapping his hands, he's enjoying the moment. Right over on the far side, they are going round the outside of the pitch, going across the box now. All the staff in suits, players in suits and track suits and pink bibs, they are all together. It doesn't matter what colour they're in right now, they're all red of Canada, that's for sure.
He is singing along inside the stadium, Jesse Marsch. He is pumping both of his fists in the air. And I think you're so right, Dion. I mean, again, we're high up here in the gantry here in BC Place. We can't see what he said to those players, but he allowed Moise Bombito to lead the team talk first. Canada's experienced centre-half who came back from his own injury in this game. Then he spoke. And that's what it feels like, Dion. He said, look, this is history. This is the first time that Canada's men's side have won a game at a World Cup. It puts us on the brink of the knockout stages for the first time in our history. Now, let us celebrate what we have achieved with these fans who have supported us all the way.
I think they might be in his corner now, those Canadian fans. He's pumping his two fists in the air like he's just scored himself. Still looking incredibly smart, I've got to say, in his shirt and tie and his jacket. The passion on his face is great. He's like he's making a lion's face there. He's roaring at those Canadian fans that have stayed to applaud their team and their manager for a historic moment in their international footballing.
Well, it has been a night of high emotion for Canada. They have beaten 9-player Qatar by 6-0. They have their first ever win at a Men's World Cup. They are on the brink of the knockout stages. Look, it's not mathematical, but they will be through. They will be through to the knockout stages for the first time, and they have a great chance of winning the group. Jesse Marsh is still now soaking it up as they head towards the tunnel. And all around us in the press box, the world's media will be heading down to that press conference to find the very latest on Ismail Kone. But Jesse Marsh, well, let's let him have the final roar. Again, double fist pumped to the skies here in Vancouver, and he roars his way off the pitch. This is the momentum that he wanted. This is the momentum that he hopes will carry Canada further than they've ever been at a World Cup before. And he's got the backing, he's got the belief of this crowd.
Yeah, he has as well. It's great to see, it really is. Great to see the emotion, great to see the response from the Canadian fans. He's now going down the tunnel, just touching the back of the goal as he walks down the tunnel. He's stepping back onto the pitch, actually. He's enjoying it that much, he doesn't want to get off the pitch. He's back on the pitch now, and he's absolutely loving it as well. And they're staying here, the seats are still filled with people in red shirts. Nobody's left yet.
Yes, the red and white Canadian flags, adorned with the red maple leaf, are being waved all around us as Jesse Marsh again soaks up the adulation from the crowd. Well, they have been through every single emotion here this evening. It finishes Canada 6, 9-man Qatar 0.